Yes, friends, hope all is well today with you guys. Today, we are going to talk about the aftermath of Trump Iran negotiation and what are the leadership lessons in there for us. So, basically, you have seen that Trump was really using a very tactical approach to the negotiation, and we have talked about the negotiation really is a three-dimensional model. It's strategic, technical, and tactical. Most people really focus on tactics. Some people focus on strategic side of things, but very, very few people really actually even understand or focus on the technical side of things, analyzing the deal technically before they actually go to execution with strategy and tactics. So what happened here is that basically, Bibi Netanyahu sold an idea to Trump. And I mean, he's been trying very hard with every single president, and any Israeli prime minister has been trying with US president, to bomb Iran and finish Iran. And basically Trump was sold the idea that it's very easy, it's simple. We're going to do a shock and awe just like we did in Iraq. And, Iranian leadership is going to evaporate because that leadership does not have, foothold in, a groundhold with the nation itself. But, our bombing of Iran actually further solidified that nation. Why? Because they were prepared technically and strategically, and we were only looking at this thing as tactics. See, this is where I think I've been saying about technical, and strategic negotiation, but I've seen people have tough time understanding the three-dimensional model. So real life examples and real life challenges really explains the strategy much better. So so we've been saying that this is the three dimension of the negotiation. So how did we really fail to look at the technical side and the strategic side? Trump called himself the best negotiator. And the way he is best negotiator is that he basically focuses on tactics, and his tactics are really fueled by power and used and utilized by fear. So for example, he has a lot of tactics, and then he basically used those tactics because of his power. He end up actually executing the deal with the power play. But that power play does not necessarily work in the long run, especially to create sustainable relations and strategic relations. And when you do not technically analyze and not ready for it, and don't strategically execute, then unfortunately you will face with humiliation. And that's really where what happened here is that, Trump was sold a very tactical idea that we're going to do a shock and awe, and the leadership is going to evaporate, and we are going to have a major win very, very quickly because there will be a vacuum of leadership, and we will come in and fill that gap. And we will we will export the leadership, and, we'll bring Shah's grandson, and this will be all set. No, it didn't work that way. So where did we fail? We failed to technically analyze the situation. First of all, we did not understand the power of Iranian missiles, boats, technical abilities, and most importantly, their new drone technology. We're thinking that, they don't have the nuclear, so we can just bomb the hell out of them, and then they will evaporate. And then, we are such a big power, and who can withstand our ammunition? What we did not realize is that even though the biggest power need actual arms, need actual, battery and missiles, and when you throw all that, if the country can sustain, then you got to replenish. And then the other thing we didn't realize is that they have this new drone technology, which Russia was actually buying that drone technology from them. And this is a homegrown drone technology. They've been preparing it. The other thing we did not understand, that Iranians are known for their hidden methodology, their trench system, and their war games. Iranians are known for war games. And so they were developing everything under the tunnels. And the other thing we did not understand is that it's a big country with very tough terrain. So they have very, very big tunnels under the huge mountains that nothing can penetrate as of this day and age with our technology. And then, of course, I believe they were getting some help with their own, they were not using our GPS system. They were using Chinese Beidou system. So they were getting help there too. But by and large, it was their technology, it was their muscle, it was their strategy. And then let's look at the strategic piece. We also did not look at strategically. We were going tactically. If we would have gone strategically, we should have built alliances and unity with the whole world with world leadership. I mean, Iraq was a bogus war as well, but at the very least, we try to put UNO and other countries alliances with us. Even Afghanistan war was not the great thing, but at least we built some alliances. We built alliance with Pakistan. We built alliance because that was the neighboring country and we needed that staging. Even though that didn't work out very well for Pakistan, but it did work out for US that at least we had neighbors with us. Likewise, even in other countries, wherever we have gone, we at least give importance to other strategic partners and we included them. Like in Iraq war, we included, Europe, especially Great Britain and France and all the big powers. But over here, we said, hell with everybody. It is really our muscles. We use our muscles, so we don't need anybody. But we learn that building the narrative in the world is extremely important, and especially in this day and age, and especially when you have no legs to stand. I mean, Israel is very immoral, not the whole Israel, but the Zionist nation and power is extremely immoral. Why I say extremely immoral? Because they don't care whether the enemy is a child or a woman or a civilian or hospital or a library or a research center or a school. They will kill anybody. It was an unimaginable thing that you will kill journalists, and especially European and American journalists. Over here, now, any journalist even go, they'll kill even the journalist if they don't like it. So unfortunately, Israel's current regime, especially, is very immoral. And when you stand with immoral nation, immoral government, how are you going to keep your moral stand of democracy and rule of law and human values? How are you gonna keep that? So what happened really there is that we have a major narrative collapse. On top of it, we have a major technical collapse because we did not analyze the capability of Iran. We absolutely undermined their capability to stand, capability of their stamina, capabilities of their drones, capability of their tunneling system, their logistics, their supply chain. And then also, more importantly, we did not understand the importance of the Strait of Hormuz. And if we would have, then we would have actually secured that first. That blockage, which we created way after, we could have created that right at the get-go. But see, that's what's called preparation. And we should be prepared. So this is all in the negotiation. Even when you go in the negotiation, you got to prepare yourself. Of course, when you go in a war, you got to prepare yourself. And the preparation does not mean how much ammunition you have. The preparation also means your will. Preparation means narrative. Preparation means alliances. Preparation means logistics. And preparation also means understanding the holistic picture and looking at, that's what war games are, looking at all aspects. Now, it's hard for me to believe that we are such a great nation and we have very wise people, lots of universities, researchers, but unfortunately, it's not like we did not have the skill set to understand this very complicated problem. Unfortunately, we didn't use that skill set. And that's what happens in your team selection. See, Trump has selected Pete Hegseth type people who are yes men and gung-ho and have absolutely no experience in this thing. I mean, he called himself the Secretary of War instead of Secretary of Defense. and saying we answer, we negotiate with bombs. Terrible, terrible, terrible statement. That's going to go a long way. People are going to remember it. You never negotiate with bombs. If you're negotiating with bombs, that means you're only using tactics. That is the problem. The entire team, except I think J.D. Vance seems to me bit more strategic in nature and bit more thinking out of the box. He's a young guy. He knows he has a amazing future ahead of himself. He should have. And he's actually shining and is coming as a better leader, especially what he said yesterday when journalists asked him about, what if Israel sabotaged the whole thing? And so he basically still spared Bibi Netanyahu, and he said, he talked about his cabinet, and his cabinet member are really trolling Trump, and they're really making him look really bad. And he's saying, look, this is the only president in the whole world, and happen to be the most powerful president right now in the world, who has been your supporter. So be careful of what you're doing, because you are really killing your own support. And then basically also Trump going after Bibi and saying he's a difficult man to work with, is because Trump gave to Bibi more than any president in the history of the United States. And yet he could not appease him. He could not please him. He could not do what Bibi wanted at the end of the day. And Trump finally got the reality that whatever Bibi was telling me was not true and not well thought and not strategic and definitely not technical. So he then finally went to his, political alliances. He went to his journals, and he went and he learned that how long does it take to replenish all the assets we have deployed, how many assets we got destroyed, what is the true capability of Iran, and what is the true meaning of getting the nuclear dust. What are you going to do with that dust if it is under the rock piles, and which is not really Iran's strategy right now. And Iran and the whole world was saying that is really not that big of a deal. And they made that big of a deal. Trump needed really the scapegoat, and he needed face saving, because he realized the elections are coming. We have put trillions of dollars in this war. We haven't gained anything. If anything, we have united Iranian people behind the Iran leadership. So that's the reason you see this deal is very much favored toward Iran, is because Trump badly needed that deal for especially his political consumption and his domestic politics. Elections are upon us. The economy is in dire state. It was nosediving because of the energy prices, because the energy prices drive the whole economy. I mean, I'm in real estate, and I tell you that it has been really badly hit because the house prices are coming down, or have come down tremendously, but the material prices are rising. So what's going to happen? Nobody's going to build. And if you don't build, you don't expand the economy. You don't create jobs. So Trump got finally the idea that, Bibi was all tactics, and I'm using all tactics. I did not realize how long would it take to replenish my stockpile, and how much it would be, and how, tedious it would be, and how difficult it would be to basically conquer Iran. I mean, we can say we can bomb. But at the end of the day, we have to go in Iran. And I honestly, I'm grateful, and the nation should be grateful that we didn't go in Iran, because if we would have gone in Iran, yes, we would have killed more people, but unfortunately, we would have a lot more body bags, because they know this terrain. This is their turf, and this is, they are very good at guerrilla war, and they are, they have homegrown technology. So yes, we would have damaged them more, but I'm not sure if we could have finished them. And if we didn't finish them, I assure you, we would have damaged ourselves much more. And we were really declining big, because this whole war, this few months from February to now, it have done nothing but demoralize our nation. The morality and morale has come down. Economy has come down. And our moral value and moral power in the whole world has come down. And people have stopped looking at us as leaders, and they were looking at us more like, instead of we used to be the truce maker, the peacemaker, and now we are known as a war maker. Look at all the Gulf countries were paying us to have bases to protect them. Unfortunately, this war proved we could not protect them. If we didn't protect them, why should they pay us? I mean, even though they are dictatorial nation and they may still continue to pay, but there's even themselves internally have human being, and they can ask the questions that why. And then that's the reason all those nations, Saudi Arab, UAE, and even Qatar, those countries who actually wanted to really help us in the beginning and wanted to, bring down Iran, they even wanted to do the deal. And they went to Trump and saying, look, let's have a deal, because if Iran has this capability and they, hit our desalination plants and our infrastructure, we're done. We're absolutely done. So they understood Iran's capability, technical evaluation failure, and they also understand the strategic moves with State of Hormuz, with their technology they're doing. They said, look, the best thing right now is to have a deal. And that's the reason Trump has no option. I'm not a big fan of Trump, as you guys might know, because I'm utterly against war. I think war never bring any good thing. But especially this type of war where we have nothing to do with it. If somebody would have attacked, that's just different. But going out, attacking a country who has nothing to do with us, and it's all Israel's own game, and especially Bibi's own game, because he wanted to control even Israel because of this war. And you will see, as this war is coming to an end, is basically Bibi will have a difficult time keeping his prime ministership. He will even may face jail because of what he has done internally and externally in the world. Israel has lost major moral standing in the world, and that hasn't helped Israel. This war didn't help Israel. This war didn't help the United States. This war didn't help all the Gulf countries. Amazingly, this war, believe it or not, has helped Iran, because they were strategically, technically prepared and were not really relying on tactics. And other thing is, they believed in what they are doing. Their belief system is very, very strong. But their moral values are strong. They were not just, face-saving and lying. Whatever they were saying, you will see whenever they made an announcement, they stood behind it. Whereas whenever we made an announcement, we backtrack. So we morally lost our value. We economically lost our value. And people are started saying toward China and Russia again. So we lost, Israel lost big time, Gulf countries lost, and look who won in this thing. Iran won. Even Iran's neighbor benefit a little bit, like Pakistan and Qatar and other countries. And, China and Russia really came out as a big emerging new power, especially China. So this is the reason it's very, very important. When we go out to negotiate, we don't just look at tactically. Tactics only play a very small role. We have to look at the problem strategically and technically and carefully do the stakeholder analysis. If we can really take this lesson in our life, in our company, in our community, in our nation, in the world, it's same formula that we must believe in what we do, and we actually stick with it. And then we basically, when we negotiate, we prepare ourselves based on 3 dimensions, not 1 dimension. Even if you go out to buy a car, or even if you go out to, execute the biggest deal of your life, a merger or acquisition, you must prepare based on 3 dimensions: technical, strategic, and then tactics. I hope that I convey that message, and I hope we benefit from it. I'll further explain that 3-dimensional negotiation model in our next talk. Thank you very much. May God bless you all.